Welcome back to another episode of Tucked In Wizards. Today we're going to be covering Game 2 of Summer League. Unfortunately, not going our way. Talk about some of the players we liked, some of the disappointing performances, and cover a little bit about the Rockets. My name is Aidan, and I'm here with Ben.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show.
You're very welcome.
You want me to start? Because I got some stuff to talk about for sure. So first of all, it was a disappointing game. They made the classic Wizards fake comeback in the second half, but they never. Led, by the way, by Johnny Davis, which was fun to see. Him actually doing something. So they made this fake comeback. Just to touch on some key points, Keyshawn George looked phenomenal. I liked when he doesn't handle the ball. I like when he plays off ball and he's just like catch and shooting, because he was really good in that role. He hit three threes today. He scored 14 points. He did have 6 turnovers, which again was him handling the ball. But other than that, he shot tremendously. He got a few rebounds. Justin Champagnie did it again. He was fantastic. 19 points on 14 shots. Not much you could say. And then Bub, I was still impressed with him. He didn't shoot super well today. He shot 5 for 16. He had 18 points, but he was only -8, which sounds bad, but it's a lot higher than every other starter. And he still showed that pro confidence that you want to see from an 18-year-old.
Yeah, to me the biggest thing with Bub was I didn't love that he was settling for threes, but I was happy that he was happy to shoot. Obviously had a green light. And like you said, even though he didn't play that well, I was still impressed with him. Not insanely impressed, but for the 14th pick, he showed pretty good poise. He was didn't seem like he was letting it get to his head too much, his shooting struggles. And at the end of the day, he still got 18. I thought he was a positive on defense.
And it's a summer league game.
It is exactly. It is summer league. this stuff will happen. And I will say there were some times where he looked a little shaky out there on defense. He didn't really know exactly where he wanted to be. But I mean, that's just something that you'll get better with reps. And then I don't know if you saw it, but the one play he had where he cut in for the perfect pass into a dunk, that was amazing. And if he can cut like that, again, it's summer league, so I'm not saying he's going to be doing that all year, but if he has something like that in his bag, it's definitely going to open up his overall game. And for someone that was supposed to be my big concern was that he was going to take too many mid-ranges and not be able to make it from downtown. He's at least shooting threes, making them decently.
Oh, he spread the floor, yeah. He was 4 for 10 today, which is not a bad percentage at all.
No, not from 3 for sure. People see stuff like that. For some reason, people are so hyper-focused on efficiency these days, and it's hey man, as long as they're giving you some production, the efficiency
yeah, especially when they're that young.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to be efficient that young. There was something else about Bub. I think it was just he continues. Oh, that's what it was. He played a lot better when he started focusing on playing within the offense. There was a lot of possessions where he would get the ball and it would be okay, Bub ISO the whole time, and those were a lot of his misses. But like you said, he played his best where he was okay, let's just simple play, let's shoot off a screen, or he's cutting and getting a dunk. Those was when he was at his best. Instead of these, I just have to score one-on-one, which he definitely will. We will probably see him be able to do that. But, and this is just anyone, if you're not one of the best ISO scorers in the league, let's get a good shot. Let's not be taking these. Unless you're Kevin Durant.
I like that point you had about playing within the team and the offense, because that was I think that's the root of the problem with Sarr's game. This game was that he was not playing within the offense or within the team, even on defense. Where he kind of seemed like he was on his own out there and making his own individual decisions and kept trying to take it to the rim and trying to shoot on these guys. And it's just play with your team. Basketball is such an inherently team sport. You have to be distributing the ball and making opportunities for your teammates. Otherwise, opportunities for yourself are going to dry up. So I think that's something that's going to come definitely with more reps too. Again, everyone always stresses, I want to stress as well, this is just summer league. Good and bad performances you can't take too much with. But you can at least see some tendencies with players, and that's where it comes from with Bub for me, is that I like his instincts, I like the tendencies he's showing. And same with Keyshawn George, like you were saying, the 3-and-D was really impressive last game. And if he can do that in summer league, at least successfully, he can probably at least translate a bit of that into the NBA and if he can defend and then occasionally make a three just standing in the corner, like that's all you need from your first year young prospect, you know, like we've done that to some players before who were not that, like Johnny Davis and Denny. We tried to make them into those guys. We have a guy that's like that, so we might as well use him like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that he was taking the challenge too. He took the challenge of Cam Whitmore, who was phenomenal, by the way. And Cam Whitmore, you could tell he's going to be a professional scorer. Like that's his niche right there, and he showed that. And Keyshawn George, he stepped right up and tried to take him. Successfully on some possessions, unsuccessfully on a lot of them, but he's still, you know, he was the guy leading the charge. Before we talk about the disappointing big men, I just want to harp on, this is probably the best Johnny Davis game I've seen in the past 3 years, which is crazy. But he was just making every right read. He was actually making some layups, and he hit a three. So I don't know what more can you ask from him. 15.6 rebounds, 2 assists. I know he had one really good play where Sarr missed a little bunny, and he got the rebound in front of everyone and then passed it back to Sarr for a dunk. And he did that a couple of times where he kind of got the rebound over a couple of people, but rebounding, big struggle in this game for the Wizards.
I was really impressed with his playmaking for sure. Like the reads he was making and the passes he was making were pretty good. He had some weird ones where he threw it just to the other team, and we were like, "What are you doing, Johnny?" And funnily enough, I was at my friend's place watching the game, and there was one stretch for 2 minutes where he messed up 3 layups and dunks in a row. And my friend was like, how is he so good at getting in the rim and so bad at finishing once he's there? He gets to the rim so easily, and then when he's up there, it's like, shit, what do I do?
Yeah, which also doesn't make sense because he doesn't seem like the most athletic. I don't really understand how he's always at the rim.
Yeah, it's
But then athleticism comes in because he's missing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can get up there, but then it's the finesse to actually get into the basket when he's up there is not there yet. Might never be there. I'm pretty low on Johnny Davis. We'll see how the season goes. This is a make or break season for him. I told Ben last night that if he does bad this season, or not even bad, if he's not good this season, he's almost definitely getting cut after his rookie contract's up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if he's not good, he's done. I am curious if there are any comments on this, because we were talking about Johnny Davis and Killian Hayes. And the comparisons between them, Hydra picks really aren't panning out. And I was saying that Johnny Davis's niche in the NBA is a lot easier for him to fill than what Killian Hayes was supposed to be. Because Killian Hayes was this playmaking guard. He had to have the ball in his hands, and he just really wasn't that good at it. Where Johnny Davis gets to play this off-ball kind of defense-first approach, and it's kind of easier for a role player to slot into that mold than it is for a playmaking guard who needs to be on the ball. So I'm curious what the comments think if we get about that.
I definitely agree with that aspect of it, but to me, it's Johnny Davis isn't really that good at defense right now. So it's he's not really providing what his role says he's supposed to provide. So sure, his role's more useful, but he's not filling that role successfully. So it's
not yet.
It's not really giving much. We'll see. I'll happily eat my words if Johnny Davis comes out with a productive season this year. I was really high on him when he was drafted, funnily enough. And the whole year I was like, hey man, we just got to give him time. Everyone was like, oh, this guy sucks. I was like, hey, it's his first season. He's going to get an off season of work. And then he came in and looked the exact same. Maybe he's cooked.
That was a little rough. But hey, guards take longer, so you never know.
They do. And he's kind of smaller. So we'll see. Hopefully he can contribute and maybe get a couple seconds or a first in a trade.
That would be nice. He's never getting a first, but maybe a couple of seconds.
No. A second or two, I would take that all day for Johnny Davis.
Do you want to talk about Sarr and Vuk, or do you want me to start?
Yeah, I'll talk about Sarr. Again, it was not a good game for Sarr. Last game was he was a little limited, but you could tell the potential was there. This time, it was rough. I saw people in the Wizards community questioning whether we made the right pick. And,
that was crazy.
Which is nuts, because it's Summer League. Come on. And we always knew this was going to kind of be a developmental year for him. It's going to be very rough. If they can't handle that, just wait until we play, the Celtics. It's going to be bad. But I saw some of the things I liked. I still saw some rim protection. There were some times where players were I better not drive on him. Cam Whitmore was posterizing the fuck out of him, but, that's separate.
He wasn't scared at all.
No, what can you do against the reigning Summer League MVP? That dude.
Sure.
He's a really good player.
Future 6 man of the year.
I'm very surprised he fell all the way to Houston last year. I was very high on him. There must have been
I think we both.
I
think we might have both had him in the top 5 last year.
I think we did, yeah, because he went like 22nd.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the fuck? I thought for sure that at least the Lakers were gonna pick him. But anyway, he still like was really, really, really raw on offense for sure. I liked that he was at least trying to take some of these opportunities. I'd rather him be 4 of 14 than 4 of 8, you know? And like there were some things I saw where like if you polish it up, like that turnaround jumper could be kind of nice, like Porzingis style. And I think he could incorporate a lot of that stuff into his game in the future. Just not quite there yet. And you texted me after the game was over and you said like he's clearly not a center. He can't play that yet. And I completely agree. Like he I think is going to look a lot more comfortable in the 4 position next to Valanciunas when he doesn't really have to be the one crashing the glass and getting rebounds because he's awful at that. But I think an off season or two of just like really, really, really heavy development and like box out lessons and like training with big men and stuff, like I think he'll be fine. I can see the instincts and stuff are there. He needs
box out lessons are needed, man. Orlando Robinson was dogging him on the boards, and it was because every time the ball went up, I was looking at Sarr, and he like could not find the body to box out. He like did not really understand how to do it, and it's something that he'll learn. I'm sure Val will help him with that as well. But I mean, it's kind of like you said, it's kind of what we expected coming in. We knew he was this help side defender who can guard 1 through 5, and we kind of saw that. He switched on to Cam Whitmore a couple times and did a pretty good job out on the perimeter, but he doesn't really rebound well. His offense is very raw, as we saw, and he settles for jumpers a little too much. And again, this is kind of stuff we saw, and stuff that I think the Wizards can get out of him if he, bulks up a little bit, learns how to box out, that kind of stuff.
I think the front office is kind of looking at these games and going like, well, I mean, this is what we expected. This is what all our scouts said. If anything, it's positive because it means their scouting evaluation was probably right. Because I guess. Okay, all these things we knew he couldn't do, he can't do. Yeah, and like, there's positive things to see. And I think a lot of it is like, they're looking at the long term. I think a lot of Wizards fans are looking at the long term of 3 to 4 years, where I think the front office is looking more like 7 to 8. Yeah. And like, I mean, it's insane, but that's when Sarr is going to really start blossoming into like his prime in the NBA, and hopefully we have another top 5 pick around him, at least one. It's going to take a lot longer than people think, and I think people are expecting a lot too early. We're like, I don't expect Sarr to be a positive player at a consistent level at any point in this season, really.
No,
I expect flashes, but nothing consistent.
Yeah, I agree with that. Playing, like you said, playing the 4 will help him a lot. His 3 needs to get better, of course. But the biggest kind of negative I had from Sarr this game, besides the rebounding stuff, was it kind of ties into rebounding, but the motor was bad. Yeah. Like the Rockets took him out of the game, and he just like didn't recover. And I saw like a Reddit comment of some dude who was sitting behind him that said he was like chugging electrolytes, so maybe it was like a conditioning thing. So I don't know. Hopefully that can improve, because I think the motor was fine in game 1. You just don't want, when you have these bad games, for the motor to be bad, because he's on the Wizards. That's going to happen a lot. Yeah. I think I saw something where like he played like 16 minutes a game in Australia, or like something around there. It was in the mid-teens. So I think it really is just a strength and conditioning issue, and that's something where I think these next 3 months are going to help him out a lot. That's what Summer League's for. You play, you go show your team, and they're like, okay, well, we obviously need you to work on this, that, and this. We have time before the season. Go do it. Yeah. So I think he's going to come in a lot more conditioned, hopefully next season. I think it'll be very heartening if he comes in and like is immediately stronger and in better condition, because that means he wants to put the work in, and like really get better. Yeah. Like Bilal did this year. Exactly like Bilal did this year. And that's why, like, I used to be in the past with the Wizards development staff, like, okay, it's all on the player. If the player's really motivated, they can really get good, but there's not going to be a lot of help from the team. Like Rui, developed really fast, but then, like, at a certain point kind of plateaued, and, like, it didn't seem like the team was trying to help him achieve the next level of his game. Where watching these past couple years, especially with Bilal, like, you can see the opportunities are there. He took pretty much every opportunity from what the coaches said. He took every opportunity to improve his game, get stronger. So if those opportunities are there for the players, then, it makes it a lot easier to actually develop better and improve your game instead of just having to rely on it yourself.
So I have more hope with this new front office that we can actually start developing some of these young guys. But I think Sarr is the first real big test.
Because he's a project. He's a project.
Yeah, for sure.
Some quick hits before we go to the Rockets. Jules Bernard actually was pretty good this game. He got to the line a lot, and he was passing more.
Yeah.
Last game, we didn't see him pass one time. This game, he got 2 assists. He was definitely moving the ball. I mean, Jules Bernard is definitely like a prototypical scorer. Like, I don't think he's going to really see that much time on the Wizards. Like, Justin Champagnie might see a lot of time on the Wizards. But, you know. And then Tristan Vukcevic, absolute disaster of a game.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any bright spots.
No.
Bright spots at all.
The only thing I saw was, like, he had one, redirect to a Wizards player in midair or something, where, like, they were passing it and he tapped it to a Wizards player. And, like, that was the one good play I saw him make the entire time. He was definitely really rough. There was, like, one goaltend that if it was a block, it would have been cool. But it wasn't, so it kind of sucked. But like you could kind of see it, and you know, I was high on Vuk. I still think he can.
I still am. It's Summer League. It was his first game too.
For sure.
Raw player.
Another very raw player. I think a lot of people, including me, kind of have to recenter and be like, "Hey, he's a second-round pick, late second-round pick." Like,
early second.
He doesn't, early second, but still second-round pick. If he doesn't develop, that's just like kind of expected. So anything we get out of him is a positive. Hopefully he can at least be a rotational player, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's what
He's still young.
So we kind of hit all of the Wizards. PBJ and Jared Butler didn't play again. I would like to see Jared Butler play with Sarr. I know Bub has been pretty good point guard, but Jared Butler's like that point guard. So it'd be interesting to see that. You want to go over to the Rockets side? I mean, Reed Shepherd was amazing this game.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed by Reed Shepherd. It was always kind of expected that, like, he would be a little further along than like a guy like Sarr and even maybe Bub because he's a little older. But he was further along than even I expected. His passing looked really mature. His shot selection looked really mature. He looked like a second or third year player out there as a rookie, which is always really impressive. And you know, I was a little doubtful of the pick when it happened. I didn't really know Reed Shepherd. But I think after seeing what he can contribute, at least in Summer League, I think he definitely has a place on the roster. He definitely seems like a plug-and-play guy that, like, catch and shoot, at least for his early years, and then if he doesn't get a shot, he can at least get a decent pass.
Yeah, and he can.
And his
he has that
defense
nice
looked
little floater, too.
Yeah, his floater was really nice. He had a couple times on Sarr where he, like, got him to backpedal and hit the floater over him. Looked really good. I think he's going to be one of those players that kind of immediately contributes. I think he could even be in running for Rookie of the Year. I was very impressed by him. I thought he even looked better last game than Reece Shea looked the first game, and I thought Reece Shea looked great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's definitely in my running for Rookie of the Year as well. Him and Cam Whitmore combined for 5 steals each, so they got 10 steals between them, which is crazy.
I mean, Cam Whitmore looked like an NBA player out there, which, like,
yeah,
do, so it was really impressive.
He looked like an NBA player playing with G Leaguers. It was like, wow, this guy, why is he playing?
Yeah, it was like that game where Curry went to that random pickup game at the gym and just, like, destroyed everyone, hit the game winner, and, like, hit the night. Like,
it's so crazy. Just shows how good these NBA players are too. Like, Cam Whitmore is like a 6th man, and he's just dogging people in summer, just destroying them.
Yeah, it's insane. And he's a good 6th man, but, like, he's a young guy that's, like, not even close to his potential, and, like, he's destroying all these guys trying to prove themselves.
Yeah. Orlando Robinson, former Heat center, and I guess now Rocket center. Another guy who's, like, you could tell he was an NBA player, especially when Sarr was, I would say, attempting in quotes to box him out, because he got every rebound. He had 15 rebounds this game. Nobody was stopping him.
He had one play where he was behind Sarr. It was like the easiest box out in the world, and he just like reaches around him and grabs it. I was like, how do you not let him get it there? I just didn't understand.
That was That was so frustrating for me watching Sarr this game, because it was a lot better in the first game. But the Rockets, they're a good summer league team.
Yeah. My friend was like, this is like an all-star summer league team. Like, it's a really good team. And like the Hawks didn't really have a center like that, like Orlando Robinson, that was able to box out Sarr and get all these rebounds. And again, that's where playing next to Valanciunas will really help, because Valanciunas is a pretty good rebounder. So he can at least show him how it works, and like he doesn't have to worry about that as long as Valanciunas is around.
Yeah. With that, do you want to wrap up this kind of recap?
Yeah, there wasn't really a lot to talk about this game. It was kind of a blowout. So like even during the game watching it, it was just like, like I want to watch these young guys, but this just is painful. It felt like watching some of the games last year where they just get blown out in the first quarter. You're like, all right, okay, I know where this game's going.
Yeah. Next game is against Portland on Tuesday. I want to see Portland's roster because I know Scoot isn't playing. I guess we'll see. Who did they pick? Oh, who's the pick?
Klingen.
Klingen, yeah, Klingen playing. Klingen versus Sarr will be interesting. I know
That will
Klingen
be
had a
fun.
rough debut, but this will be a second game, so or third. I don't know who's playing.
All right, well that sounds good. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday. DG, take us out.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy DG. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Nothing major. We hitting the wizard bed tonight, baby. Let's get it, Gafford out.